Welcome to the DSQ podcast with Blake Lawson and Dakota Reynolds.
Hey, Blake.
Hey, Coda.
I got a question for you.
What's that question?
How many Yukis long is the Bahrain International Circuit?
I don't know, Dakota. How many Yukis long is the Bahrain International Circuit?
We didn't have to be as cagey or as acting about it. This came from they were Max and Yuki behind the scenes, footage, whatever.
Yeah.
Yuki's 161 centimeters, whatever that is in freedom units. So, and this question was on there, never answered, so we're going to answer it. Do you want to take a guess?
Oh God, that's math.
It's a metric math.
That is metric math, which should be easy, but unfortunately I'm dumb and bad at quick math. I can't do that math that quick. We're in a podcast setting, so I can't do that math that quick. Go ahead.
3,361.49 Yukis.
Damn, they cut a Yuki in half.
Unfortunately. Had to be done with science. Hey, everybody, welcome back to DSQ.
Where we ask the most hard-hitting questions.
Like, what's going on with Max? I just learned about this right before we hit record. But we'll get to that. Bahrain. Our first episode last season, of course, it is the opener of the season, except for this season when it's race number 4. Test track for everybody, so a lot of people knew it, and yeah.
It's a fun little track. I do enjoy it. It's got the two, really long DRS straights that I enjoy very much. The 9-10 curve always threw me for a bit, and then I would get in the hang of it, and then I'd have it just on fire, and then eventually I'd come back around to it, and I'd fuck it up again.
Yeah, I'd say that. I think I've talked to you about that turn. I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
That and, of course, the final, which caught everybody off.
Oh, yeah, no. Everybody.
But, yeah, it's definitely better than last year. Definitely better than Suzuka. Last week. Hopefully it'll be better today. I don't know. I have new headphones, and it's kind of throwing me off. I said setting headphones you used last week, so.
I mean.
All right, let's get into it, because we actually do have quite a bit, and we're not on a super time frame train, but we got a little bit of time management to do. Yeah, let's just get it. Do you have anything intro-wise? Do you want to hop into upgrades, or we want to talk rookies? What do you want to do?
Let's hop into upgrades, because there's a bunch of new stuff going on with people and places and things. We'll start off with the cars first. So Mercedes, Aston Martin, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Williams, and Sauber all bring nothing to the table. McLaren brings a little new front brake duct winglet. Yes?
That's
good
fine.
up there?
They brought nothing.
They brought nothing. Let's just be frank
They have
here.
not contributed shit.
The new front ring, yes. The thing that I said, the brake duct winglet from McLaren. Ferrari, redesign of their floor front and edges, plus their diffuser, and a rear wing pillar winglet. Red Bull had a longer cord flap on the front wing. I think that's a really long one. And a cooling edit for the hot conditions. Chekhov's gun. And then Haas brings the Coke this time. Rather, they bring a wider engine cover center exit thing. It was worded really weird, but it's a engine cover thing.
Yeah.
They did the thing for it. It's slightly wider.
They had Coke and then cut it.
Yes.
The little lines.
Yes. You got it.
They added little lines.
Along with the cars themselves, we also have the track that gets a few new things. The exit turn 4 gravel bed was extended a bit. The U-drains closest to the racing line were closed off by cement, given the Vegas treatment, and moved away from the white line to the runoff areas. They repaired some bumps at the start-finish straight and turn 9, notably did not resurface the track that they have not done since 2003. This track is older than Antonelli and Behrman.
Jesus.
And that's why Pedro de la Rosa's lap time currently still stands is because they haven't resurfaced any of it.
Yep, because the record today was not even close.
No, like 4 whole seconds.
Yep. And we'll get to lap when we get to the race.
Yep. Continuing on, they removed the curb in turn 3 on the right-hand side because it's from a different layout. They replaced glasses at the start-finish platforms. I don't know what that means, but I'd like to believe that Ray's Mod glasses is being replaced. So, you know what? It's been a pleasure. You've been great.
Thanks for saying hi to us YouTube frogs this morning.
Yes, every time.
You're the only one that appreciates us. Niche joke. Just kidding. All our fans are Ray fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Better be.
And then the blue line was placed at the entrance of turns 4 and 5 and at the exits of turns 2, 4, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15. And they widened the white line on the exit of turn 4. And that should be it. With the exception of
not folks, never mind.
Power units. All Red Bull power unit cars took a new energy store and control electronics. That's it.
So all of Max, Yuki, Liam, and Isaac.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. FP1. As stated, this is the preseason track, so a lot of people had a lot of testing, so it's Rookie Palooza, baby.
Let's go!
We had, let's count them, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rookies. Well, the word rookie here is so weird.
It's the simple word to use, but the more specific is it's someone who is not in Formula One actively, and they haven't raced a certain amount of races, that are doing test runs in their car.
Gotcha. Of course, last week we had one with Alpine, with Ryo Hirakawa. And he's back. He's one of our 5 today. This time with Haas signing on as a full-time reserve driver for Haas.
Yes, as part of their link with Toyota.
Yep, which makes a lot of sense. It was kind of weird to see him. But I did want to go over him. There is 4 other rookies to go over. But so, he has been in, let's go reverse order, this weekend. Bahrain for Haas. Last weekend, Japan for Alpine. He did the postseason test for Haas in Abu Dhabi. He was also the McLaren FP1 driver at Abu Dhabi. And he is going to, here's a future spoiler, he is going to sit in Spain for Esteban, and then undetermined which is which, but he'll also be the FP1 driver for Haas in Mexico and Abu Dhabi. So,
all right.
seeing a lot more of Rio. I believe it's Rio, but I could be wrong. But we also had 4 other drivers, a couple familiar faces, of course, filling in for Aston Martin. Not filling in, but taking over for Fernando Alonso, a good forever reserve driver for Aston Martin, Felipe Drugovich. You know, he's unfortunate. Like, we see so many, like, we have 3, like, we have the F2 champion, the F2 runner-up, and then 2 other F2 forward top team, or top drivers. What sucks is, I guess, Felipe will still, I feel like I'm saying that so wrong, though I'm not.
Felipe.
Then sitting in that seat, waiting for a while. Of course, Aston Martin, probably the least open team as of right now, for a seat. So, yep, good to see him on track. Maybe one day. It depends on if we get a Fernando Alonso sitting down in black and white in front of a camera on Instagram. Which I feel like Fernando would, just for the memes.
Just
do
for
the
the
exact
memes.
same thing.
Get Sebastian to record it.
Yeah. No, keep the intro and just push Sebastian out of the chair and sit down. No, this is my video. Filling in at Williams for Carlos Sainz is Luke Browning, his second outing with Williams, one from last season. Make sure, because my spreadsheet is kind of not the way I wanted it to in my head, but it works. Dino. I should have done the phonetics before this episode started. I'm just calling him Dino. You know who Dino is. How do you not know who Dino is? Come on. Filling in for
like Bogdanovich just from here. It's a little far away, so I'm trying to like squint to see it. Or
we
whatever.
also have a little new kind of upgraded F1 watching setup that we're also using as recording aid. he fills in for Charles Leclerc at Ferrari. Fred Vesti, another outing for him, filling in for George Russell at Mercedes. And Max Verstappen sitting out an early session for Iwasa, not taking place in his normal Japanese Grand Prix sit-in, but doing it at Bahrain. So that's 5 more rookies. Of course, they're doubling the amount this season, so we'll see probably all these guys at least one more time, if not 4 more times, 3 more times.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah. Of course, the session not too chaotic considering we have 5 FP1 rookies as well as just our normal 5 rookies.
Wow, that actually, yeah. No, now that I think about it, there's a lot of inexperience in FP1. That could have been a lot worse.
Yep. And that being said, as everybody's pointed out, this is because it's Quali's dusk. This is the dusk to night race. So FP1 and FP3. Track is nowhere representative, so it is kind of a throwaway session. So yeah, throw the rookies out there; they'll be fine. Yuki pulling off a team switch, much like Carlos. Last week misses the pit box. Happens.
It happens.
Poor Yuki. Kimi Antonelli hasn't power issues. Does a couple of running, but it does hamper some of his running, so not as much there. Really haven't heard him that much. Interesting. Hey, did Alex do anything bad during this session?
Listen. Listen, he might have just a little bit, might have almost killed his rookie teammate.
And my driver.
Oh my god, he almost pulled a fucking George Russell. Just turned in on him.
Yep, Alex. Getting, not Alex's fault, getting released. Alex definitely getting on his rating, like, yo? Can you not put me in Yuki's side pod? And then, almost close call with Luke Browning, of course, taking place. Does get a €7,500 fine for impeding his own rookie teammate in FP1.
I mean, yeah. And then there was the whole interview that that George had next to him, where he was like, "What? That's less expensive than Carlos's poo."
Yeah. God, I hate George, but also don't hate George.
Yeah, no, he sets up his friends exceedingly well.
That being said, Yuki, to avoid getting hit, but also, instead of just braking, he goes into the slow lane to overtake. Gets a reprimand for it, not a fine. FIA inconsistencies, baby.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, this is the first session of the year, FP1 and 2. I did not watch live. I did wake up for it. I was like, I don't care. Actually, turns out, don't care today. I was busy on Friday. I had a lot of stuff going on Friday, so understandable. I'm calling myself understandable. If you want to argue with me about it, okay.
I think you're full of shit. No, it's completely understandable.
Not so much. FP2, really the only thing is Fernando tries to go the old fucking Lando Norris on stream doing the DOS thing and fucking disconnecting his sim wheel.
I forgot that video existed.
Yep, Fernando trying to get his steering wheel to work and basically just takes the entire thing off as a hard reset. That's what we call it in the IT biz. And a little higher risk when you're doing it at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it tends to be the least of the problems, I guess, they were facing this week. God, there are so many things happening.
So much. I have a full little list on that later on.
As we get into the third free practice session of, unless you had anything else for FP2. Nope. I was like, I assume you also did the same thing and just watch highlights and skim through.
You assume way too much. I cared very little about free practice. The only thing I saw was, Alex almost killed his teammate.
Yep. Something I don't recall seeing in a session like this is around turn 10, about 29 minutes left in the third practice session. Nico anti-stalls, just randomly in the middle of a turn.
Okay.
Goes into the gravel, and it's a VSC.
Interesting. Okay, a VSC for free practice. You know what? That makes sense.
Yeah. So,
but yeah.
Yep.
Hey, don't necessarily need to red flag it or anything. We can get this out of here safely.
Yep. To be fair, he did manage to get it right to one of the orange markers. So,
Oh, well.
And that was another thing this week is they introduced the whole, if you're on this part of the track, pull off to the left. If you're on this part of the track, pull off to the right.
They actually had that, I think, at least in Japan.
Oh.
Because that was in their documents as well. I don't know if it was in any of the earlier races, being like Australia or whatever.
It's taking some of my coffee. Sorry. Bad timing. I have Russell doing a little spindala and Charles just wondering if he can, what parts of the car he can shave off to get more time. Yeets his mirror off.
Doing the old Alex Albon.
Yep. He said just kind of wobbles, flies off, and no damage, no, goes off to the gravel trap.
Doesn't puncture any tires.
Nope.
Boring.
Yep. Nope. That was it. That was it. Standard free practice stuff. Oh my God! Everybody's Yuki's not 10/10 off. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Standard practice stuff. Just what it is. Yeah. Qualifying. Sorry, I'm trying not to move in my squeaky chair, but it's very squeaky. Man, this is where things start getting a little weird.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So let's start in Q1 like we always do, because that's how this works.
Yeah.
Ollie Behrman P20 start. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I don't know really what happened. Gonna jump ahead to load this Chekhov's gun. Esteban starting in P14, so not a good representative for Haas. Seemed to make some leaps and bounds last week, but not so much today. Lance Stroll P19. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Gabriella Bortoletto P18. Liam Lawson P17. Oh, wait a second. Do you want to go over this one? Because this one, again, your boy Alex.
You know what? I've got my shit like sort of popped weird. So start us off, and I'll probably interject at some point in there whenever I finally connect all the dots.
Gotcha. Well, P17 was Liam Lawson, and P16 was Alex Albon missing out on making it to Q2 by what, thousandths, maybe a tenth.
Probably thousands. I don't have it wrote down because all I have down is no time for
Expletives.
something that comes later. Yeah, no, all that's streaming from my notebook is just expletives towards the FIA. Fucking... Okay, so... come to find out, Nico Hulkenberg had a track limits issue in Q1 that invalidated his time that would have got Alex knocked out, him ahead of him. So Nico shouldn't have been in Q2. Alex should have been in Q2 with the potential to move on to Q3 like he has so many times this year as well as last year. He's at least semi-decent at doing that. The FIA took 45 minutes. I don't remember if it was after Q1 or after qualifying ended. But 45 minutes later, they finally come on there and say, oh yeah, track limits for Nico. Nico's demoted to 16th. Alex is promoted up to 15th behind Esteban Ocon. Spoiler alert. Behind Esteban Ocon, who DNF'd, did not set a qualifying time. And it's just baffling to me how we can have such inconsistencies with how quick we monitor track limits, especially with something as important as that. In the race, fucking doing towards the end, again, this is spoilers, but like, this is something where, oh, well, track limits, okay, well, we're going to have this, settled by the time that all the drivers get back to this. 45 minutes. They had plenty of time between the two sessions. They could have delayed the session by like 2 minutes to sort it the rest of the way out. But no. Oh, let's just continue on as if everything's fine. And then at the end, go and investigate it and go, oh, we fucked up. fucking ridiculous.
Yep, it was just kind of like there's got to be like you're sitting there like there's got to be a better way for this like what? And part of it is like, oh, it's not a corner they look at that often. You're the FIA. You see everything. Supposed to be like what? What do you mean? Like, if you're gonna police this like this, do it.
Do it.
Just do it. Yep. So, 3 of the 5 drivers out in Q3 or out in Q2, excuse me, actually set a time. Of course, at the 11-minute mark, Esteban drops the tire. Crash looked worse than the actual impact. It was a little scary for you Haas fans from, if you remember, a Haas car, Sakhir, in the year 2020. Granted, not this layout, but
there's that GIF image of was XQC. This is the fucking point of view. You're watching the 2020 running of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's just the fucking like you can see on his face. It's just a fucking explosion. He's like, oh,
oh man, what a mess. So your qualifying to classification is Alex Albon P15 with no time. Good job, Alex. Totally your fault. Esteban Ocon P14 with no time. That one is actually your fault.
Good job.
Fernando Alonso P13. Isaac Hadjar P12 and Jack Doohan P11. Worst start for Isaac.
Yeah,
so far. Man. Oh, sorry. I forgot to mention, of course, Lawson blaming DRS problem in his. The DRS opened and immediately closed after some wheel spin is what he said. That's why he lost out. A's was a little more time than that, but sure, bud.
Hey, learn from Max. Don't hit the button 100 times.
Oh my God, Max Domi just scored a goal.
Woo!
We may have
Max,
the least.
Max, Super Max.
Sorry, I had the Toronto game on. I just happened to be looking up. I might have been tipped by Nylander, but still, damn. All right, your top 10 on qualifying, stressing me out the entire fucking time. P10, Yuki Tsunoda. Finally, Q3 for the second Red Bull driver this season. Let's go. It finally happened round 4. Ahead of him, Lewis Hamilton in P9. Carlos Sainz, P8.
Carlos at Q3. This is our weekend. Let's go.
Sure is, bud. Sure is. Supermax, P7. Lando Norris really defeated himself really down on himself this weekend. Starts P6. Gasly starts P5. Antonelli P4. Leclerc P3. Russell P2. Oscar Piastri P1. But wait.
There's more.
Actually, Leclerc starts in P2 and Gasly starts in P4 because Russell and Antonelli both get a 1-place grid drop for getting into the fast lane of the pit lane prior to the FIA giving a resumption time for the safety car after, or not safety car, excuse me, the red flag, after Esteban Ocon's crash. I don't think I've ever heard of this before.
It's got to be a first for everything.
And I was definitely thinking, well, that's going to be an admin penalty. Nope, it's a grid place because they don't want to set a precedent, allegedly.
Which makes sense. As like
true.
if you allow that to happen, people are going to absolutely pay a little extra money to be able to go out on track. Fucking, I know sure as hell fucking Christian Horner will chalk up a few dollars for that.
Oh yeah, one thing I didn't mention about Esteban's crash, talking about the similarities. It was almost a bit the exact same spot Grosjean crashed.
Yeah, it was pretty much the exact same area.
Sorry, just going through my other notes because I love these. Hey, these notebooks are great. We talk about it every time, but sometimes if I'm going through it, I forget to go look at the little note section when I'm going over stuff. All right, so it's a couple little 1-place penalties. That's your grid. No pit starts, nothing like that. No park. Did you even see a Parc Fermé document this week?
The stuff changed in Parc Fermé?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a Parc Fermé document, and I specifically picked out a few things out of there to bring with the class.
I was like, I love the document bot we follow on Twitter. but I feel like the API was off this week because I feel like I would miss like half the documents. I had to go look up
I
manually.
feel like it got combined with something this week. I could be wrong, but there definitely was a Park Ferme document. So my 3 favorite ones were the 3 that I thought of note. Hajar, Big Dick Hajar, had to get his BBW unit replaced.
Hell yeah, Isaac. Which I guess we do have clarification. It was his seat last week, but it's Big Dick Isaac.
So there's that one. The other 2 are less funny than that, but Albon had to get so it's titled as FOM helmet camera harness. So I'm guessing the Formula 1 media camera helmet cam, the ones that inside the helmet, they had to fucking replace the harness on that.
Yeah,
Like that just, I guess, fucking broke or some shit, or was
I assume they
wrong
mean like
or
the
some
cable
shit like
harness, so just the thing that holds
Possibly,
the cables and
but
everything.
yeah,
and the, like,
no,
transponder probably.
the fact that they had to document that.
Yeah, I mean it was a change.
It was indeed a
I
change.
guess I never think about helmets and all this other stuff. Also, is locked in Park Ferme.
Yeah, very true. And then the last one, Sainz had to give a call to Safelight and replace his windscreen.
What? And his helmet? I guess.
Maybe? I was like, some of the cars also have like a little tiny little windscreen down at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
I think Ferraris specifically did the last time that I drove for them on the F1 games. But I'm not sure about anybody else. Well, obviously fucking Williams, if that's what that is, but
So both interesting.
yeah. Both of them had something funky going on,
Some
either with their
face-related.
helmets or one with their helmet and one with the little windscreen thing at the bottom of the car. And then Isaac.
That's interesting. All right. That's a 4-minute power play. Damn it. Not a hockey podcast. Race time. It's race time. Soup time.
Zoom.
Hey, we make it out the first. We made it through everybody made it through the formation lap.
Let's go.
It's always good to note. It's not given.
I notate it every time. If
Not a given.
nothing happened, I write clean. Just clean formation lap.
Also clean first lap. My note is George has a little bit of a lucky do. Lando makes up a good 6 spots.
I mean,
Maybe 4 spots. I don't know. I can't read my own writing. But a good little start from Lando.
a little too good.
A little too good. Because, of course, in true fashion, boop, Lando Norris noted false start, incorrect starting position. And boy, was this one not even close. I don't know why there's so many, every single commentator is like, oh, it's a couple millimeters. Oh, it's so close. It was not fucking close.
Okay, so to be fair, it does look worse than it is because all they care about is the contact patch, the patch that's touching with the ground. If that part is outside of the box, that's where he gets his penalty from, not the tire itself.
Yeah, but the contact patch was completely over. Like, it wasn't touching. It was over the line. At least
It was a little bit over the line. I do agree with him at this point, like having known exactly what they're looking for.
Yep, 5-second penalty on that. He does serve that at lap 11, so nothing there. We will have to get into penalties here because, oh boy.
There's so much. There's so much.
I was like, try to see if you have anything before I do.
First person to box on lap 7 is Hajar. Main pit group starts boxing about lap 10, lap 11. Red Bull having some issues.
Yep.
With the release system, the little lights that are up top for them to know, hey, it's good for you to go. Just not working.
Yep, just not responsive. Fucked up. It was like real bad stop for Max. Like, okay, interesting. Another bad stop for Yuki. It's like, okay. And so, like, the first one was just like the little plastic enclosure that hangs down. Second one, they had the backup with the mechanic sitting there for Yuki, and it still fucked it up.
Still fucked it up, and he looked at it afterwards. He's like, no, it's fucked.
It's fucked, man. So, I don't know. Go back to, I guess, the old school piece of plastic on a stick. Go.
it to the lollipop man.
Before that, I did have lap 9, Sainz versus Hamilton. A little bit. Some elbows out. Carlos, as you stated, elbows out for this race.
He's swinging them. He had his elbows out and he is fucking swinging them. He's a fucking basketball player out there just fucking trying to elbow people in the face.
So he went to the Jacob True School of Hockey and just throw elbows. Yeah, but in that, they swap places, swap back, and then through goes Tsunoda. Hell yeah, we like to see that. You'll love it to see it. Also during the track, I have Oliver Behrman with an unsafe relief. He relieved himself unsafely. Happens. Unsafe release. No further investigation on any of that. Yep. And basically just some good racing. A lot of track limits. A lot of track limits. That's so many track limits. I was going to pull up that picture and I forgot. Next event I have is the VSC in lap 32. Do you have anything before that? I think you do, because you have way better notes than I did.
So I have, lap 21, Verstappen starts complaining about everything is overheating. Like, it's just apparently all overheating, which, I guess that cooling not doing too good. I guess the Red Bull just runs really fucking hot, because it seems like every time they go to the desert, they add extra cooling, and then it still overheats. So I don't know what it is about that thing, but it is it is the sun in a car. That is what's powering it, is the sun.
It gave you wings, it just burned them off.
Yeah. And fucking Icarus over here. Lap 27, Verstappen boxed to change the hard tires out because they were not doing him well at all. Not wanting to turn. Another slow stop. This time not the lights. The lights actually functioned as they should have this time. But the front right
did not function.
Did not function.
It was supposed to.
And I saw an overhead shot afterwards, the little, top-down cam, and you can just see him in the car just shaking his fucking head whenever it starts taking more than about 3 seconds. He's upsetty.
Yep. There is a couple more, Yuki and Carlos. Carlos, again, elbows fully out. They've made contact a couple times.
Yeah.
Does cause some damage to the side pod, which we didn't find out till way later. They begin noted, no further investigation. Does leave debris on the road, and they pull out a full VSC, or full safety car,
yeah.
Which, I guess, cool. I mean, I guess it's not a red flag, but it seemed like the amount of debris
VSC?
and where it was, yeah, you probably could have done it with the VSC. I guess it really doesn't make a difference. It neutralizes the race regardless, but it does take longer, does do a different kind of restart, different dynamic.
Had to get everyone bunched up together as opposed to VSC, which is just, all right, everyone stays where they're at.
Keep it positive.
But I guess if there was stuff on the track, they may have had to deal with that, and that might have made more sense now that I think about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, right about the resumption, there's little George Russell in P2, and then P3. And then he just falls down to the order, and nobody's cutting to anything. And then we see the front, and George is still there. And yes. First things first. George's transponder apparently is not working. It's malfunctioning. It's not functioning properly.
Inop.
Yep. Inop, sealed maintenance log for info. So RIP timing tower. That fucked that up.
Yeah, they just
immediately
got rid of it.
Went to the old school where they just put the top 10 every lap. Yeah, so this leads to, I think you have this part, unless you didn't want to get into this later. You have the full list, if we just want to get to it.
Sorry, which one?
For George.
Oh,
and
yes.
not working.
Well, it's less him thing and more just in general. So it's still for later.
Oh, gotcha. Yep, so kind of a thing. Let's lay that groundwork. We're here of okay, well, you're not getting your live timing, so stuff that requires timings, like strategy for the cars in front or behind, or DRS. Like, can you use DRS? Can the person behind you use DRS? All this stuff kind of important. Like I said, they kind of just make it work. Meanwhile, back in turn 6, I think, turn 8, whatever. Liam, which I put as loss and not law on here. Him and Lance Stroll, but also Bortoleto. I saw him for both.
Yeah, they did pop up for both.
Yeah. I'll just keep it short. Liam gets 15 seconds for this race. For 2 separate causing collision incidents. One with Nico Hulkenberg. Those were good too. And one with either Gabriella fuck me, man. Bortoleto, Gabby B, or Lance Stroll. I saw him hit both, so I don't know which one actually got it. I think it was Lance. The decision document's up on my computer. I don't know why I didn't look at it. Carlos Sainz. Also, where does this happen? Does this turn 1? I didn't note it because it wasn't on the sheet.
Which part?
Carlos Sainz forcing Kimi Antonelli off of the track. Locks up, basically just forces Kimi wide. He gets a 10-second penalty.
Yeah. I don't have the position either. I just have that it was on lap 44. So.
Yeah, so at that point, you're 10 seconds down. You're way down the order as well at this point. You have significant side pod damage.
Yeah, because at this point, they're like, oh, yeah, hey, he's got a giant hole, like, bigger than my fucking head in the side of his car.
So he serves his 10, according to... We never saw him. It doesn't look like he did on the broadcast.
So he did. And I got shown how. So he served on 45 and then retired on 46.
Okay.
So he did go in and box and then came back around and retired.
So no penalty for Saudi Arabia. Jeez, I'm trying to say Miami. It's not Miami. It's Saudi Arabia. God. And then, after that, it's when Liam and Hulkenberg come together. We get some racing up front. It's really, also, not to mention, we haven't mentioned this whole race because that's kind of how it was for Oscar. He was just gone. It was Max. Welcome back, Max Verstappen. He was just gone. It was his race. Guess what? He wins. Surprise. So it's really kind of P2. McLaren, of course. Lando had the good start. It's kind of George versus Lando, and this is where we kind of get into his transponder stuff a little bit more. Was, like I said, George is behind at one point and ahead at one point, and Lando is a second behind, but they can't confirm that. Can he use DRS? And yeah, I don't know how much of that is in your thing with that, so I don't want to spoil necessarily, but
so that's sort of a semi-separate thing, but I'll go ahead and go into that bit at the very least. So I did find out that they not only unlocked George's DRS so that he could do it whenever, but he's only supposed to use it while in communication with his team when he's within 1 second of the car ahead. They also unlocked both Norris's and Leclerc's because they were close enough for that to be relevant to them. So the entire time they just have their DRS unlocked. They can push it whenever, but obviously if you don't do it at the right time, you're going to get a fucking penalty for it. But yeah, no, George was dealing with a fuck ton. Like, it wasn't just the transponder. It was the entire, timing hoop, which is provided by a third-party service. His brakes, his brake-by-wire system was fucked. He lost his dash. I think at one point, they straight up told him on the radio, it's like, hey, you're going to lose your dash here in a couple of laps. And he's like, as long as the wheel doesn't pop off, I'm good. Fucking alluding back to Alonso's troubles in FP2. But yeah, no, he had a lot of seemingly electrical issues this race. So
also some gear problems. Probably also
probably related to either brake-by-wire or just the electrical in general.
Yeah, so and part of this was the radio button, the backup radio button, which is also the manual DRS button.
For some reason.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and set this up. He gets this. When does this get noted? It gets noted after the race, technically, or like right after the checker. I think some people are still finishing. He gets noted for a DRS violation. And I should actually pull that document up because we had it. Dead air. Yeah, so I guess this button caused to just talk to his pit wall like you're supposed to do. Open for a second.
Very short time.
Yep. But wasn't supposed to be open at all, so they have to look at it, whatever. This is the controversial one, and George Russell fans are obviously, oh my god, you guys are trying so hard to get the penalty. All you want is Leclerc podium. Because everybody else is like, pretty sure any other driver would have got a penalty for this.
I mean, potentially. The problem comes down to the FIA's inconsistency. Like, there's no central group who's dishing out these penalties, so all of it's going to be up to the stewards. And if that group of stewards decides, oh yeah, this is going to be a penalty, then it's a penalty. But if then the next group says, oh, well, it's not a penalty in this event. If it's not written down in the rule books, then it's not a penalty.
Yeah. Should I read from the document itself? Should I quote?
Let's quote.
All right. So this is decision document number 54 for the weekend. The decision, no penalty. The driver used DRS with more than 1 second, with a gap of greater than 1 second to the car in front. The stewards, of course, I'm going to quote a certain part, but basically stewards talked to George, they talked to the team representative with Mercedes, as well as the head of electronics for Mercedes and the FIA software person. The connection between the automated DRS activation system and the car failed due to the issues with a timing loop provided by an external party, as Blake said earlier. Therefore, the FIA authorized manual activation of the DRS in accordance with Article 222.1.h. At the time, the driver was experiencing a brake-by-wire issue and other electronic issues. He was at that time advised to use an auxiliary button in which the cockpit, which serves as a backup radio button, but also serves as a manual DRS activation button. On the straight between turns 10 and 11, he tried to radio the team using the button, but instead accidentally activated the DRS. DRS was active for a distance of 37 meters of a straight approximately 700 meters. Whilst he gained 0.02 or 2 thousandths of a second, he gave up more than 28 thousandths of a second in the next corner to compensate. This was confirmed by telemetry, according to... Whilst technically a breach... Sorry, the cursor made it look like one word. I was very confused there. Breach occurred. The stewards decided that there was no sporting advantage gained, so no penalty imposed. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes logical sense, and that's what I would have chosen in that situation, regardless of who it is. I was like, obviously wasn't trying to do that. He had far greater issues at this point in time, and whoever the idiot is that decided that both of those fucking buttons should do the same thing, your mom's a hoe.
Poor design.
Very poor design. But my assumption is that the thought process behind it was, oh, well, you're only going to be using the radio on the straights anyways, and you're probably going to be behind someone. And surely the DRS system will prevent you from activating it because you won't be within a second of someone, so your transponder will go, oh, you can't activate this, you just mean to use the radio.
Yep.
Except everything went wrong.
It's like a thing in aviation we always talk about. It's the Swiss cheese. Like, an incident in aviation it's not one thing. It's several things lining up perfectly. If you line up all these slices of Swiss cheese, if you put something through, it's got to hit all these random holes and random spots for it to happen. That's what happened here. He got Swiss cheesed. Worst case scenario for George Russell. Yeah, like I said, it didn't seem malicious. Again, but the FIA is brutal. So it hasn't stopped in the past. But yes. As we get to that, there's just so much stuff to cover. I mean, have I missed anything up to this point? I'm at the end of the race.
No, we're pretty much at the end of the race. The only other thing we have is Jack.
Yep. Which was after the race. We did have a last-minute overtake by Max on Pierre Gasly for his final position of P6. But yeah, as everybody's doing their celebrations, another thing pops up. Hey, Jack Doohan is under investigation for track limits. And he gets a 5-second penalty at the race. Literally, like, Oscar's talking and this penalty goes, like, talking to Karun post-race interview and this penalty goes out. Maybe a little bit before that, but I do want to go over, as I pulled it up, the track limits graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go from the bottom to top, so starting with the least amount. All with one violation. It's Oscar Piastri, Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hulkenberg, we'll get there, Lance Stroll, Charles Leclerc. At 2, we have Fernando Alonso, Liam Lawson, Lewis Hamilton, Oliver Behrman. At 3, so 3, I guess this is where I guess kind of needs clarification at some point.
That's black and white flag.
It should be black and white flag, and these people were shown black and white flags. That would be Yuki Tsunoda, Isaac Hadjar, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen with 3. 4, Jack Doohan has 4, so he gets the 5-second penalty. And I want to point out, Kimi and Isaac got showed the black flag at lap 20, or black and white flag at 23, lap 23. Kimi Antonelli has 6.
So, I think I figured this one out.
Yep.
I think he has 6 track limit violations, which are violations for the purpose of, hey, this lap doesn't count for like a fastest lap scenario. However, it doesn't count towards penalties because he was forced off.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing on Jack's document I've never saw is leaving the track multiple times for no reason. I was like, okay, that's an interesting way to put it, and that makes sense. Yeah, so a lot of track violations, also a lot of investigations. We have 9 now. 9 being notes, cleared notes, no further action. But Carlos Sainz got looked at, had 9 different decisions. Liam had 8. Lando had 4. Well, sorry, one of those is serving his penalty. Multiviewer is a little weird with this one. We love multiviewer though.
Also, 2 of Kimi's were on the same lap.
Interesting. I mean, one of those was, being forced off by Carlos Sainz. So
yeah.
Makes sense. So, of course, let's get to it. We've ignored it long enough for the sake of making people listen. It's the namesake of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a DSQ.
Yes, we do indeed. Nico Hulkenberg with the same little bug that bit Ferrari a couple of weeks back. Couple of weeks?
Yep, 2
couple of
weeks.
weeks.
Yep, nope. Suzuki was clean.
Yeah, the fucking the skidware. Fucking got him.
By a few millimeters. Just
But-
so close, but
0.01 millimeters. That's enough.
that's what I was saying. It's brutal. So, yep. Nico Hulkenberg. Starting P17. Finishing nothing. It's so weird on DSQs of like, well, they dropped spots, but they really didn't because they just didn't exist.
Yeah,
in this race.
the race may as well have not even happened.
But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we covered that race pretty well because it just
It was all over the place.
it was chaos, but not in fun chaos. Just like what's happening, like not what's happening chaos. Like what's happening?
What is going on?
Like mental competency of it's in question. What is happening? Yes. All right. Let's get into your final classification.
So, the final classification and rundown for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Your winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix is Oscar Piastri, who did start first. Set a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, 39 seconds, .435, collecting all 25 of those Yummy, delicious points. P2, gaining 1 spot is George Russell. P3, gaining 3 spots is Lando Norris to round out your podium. Charles Leclerc loses 2 spots to finish P4. Lewis Hamilton gains 4 spots to finish P5. Max Verstappen gains a spot to finish P6. Pierre Gasly loses 3 to finish P7. Esteban Ocon gains 6 places to finish P8. Yuki Tsunoda gains a spot to finish P9. And Ollie Behrman rounds out your top 10, having gained 10 positions to finish P10. Your 11th place driver is Kimi Antonelli, having lost 6 places. I think he really got shafted by strategy today,
Yep.
but them's the breaks, bud. And I will complain whenever it happens to Alex or Carlos next week. Speaking of Alex, P12, having gained 3 spots. Isaac Kajar lost 1 spot to finish P13. Jack Doohan, after his 5-second time penalty, lost 3 places to finish P14. Fernando Alonso loses 2 spots to finish P15. Liam Lawson, after his 15 seconds for 2 different collisions, actually somehow gains a spot and finishes P16. Lance Stroll gains 2 spots to finish P17. Gabriel Bortoleto stays right where he's at and becomes the new Mr. Consistency, finishes P18. P19 is Carlos Sainz. Technically, he's DNF because that was a giant hole in the side of his car. And your DSQ, Nico Hulkenberg, loses 4 places to not be considered part of this race.
I have it marked as 47, but it is in the classification as lap 45 of not finishing for Carlos, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not the timekeeper. And if
I think it's technically into 45 as whenever he's retired, but it was like into the box for 46.
Yeah.
So, yeah, either way.
Yeah, 45 is his last full lap, I guess.
Yeah. All of that technically leads us into stats anyway, so I may as well start in with that. Your fastest lap. Lap 36, your race winner, Oscar Piastri, with a 1 minute 35.140. That's fast.
Not
Could
as
be
fast.
faster.
Yep.
Could be as fast as Pedro de la Rosa.
But Oscar wasn't alive to see that happen. So
Yeah, no, he definitely was not.
2005, he would have been alive, actually.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Sad,
Heck,
isn't it?
all of them might have been alive.
Yeah. I mean, they're not, maybe in diapers.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.
Or still,
But,
like...
Still.
Not Kimmy. Kimmy was not alive. Kimmy was definitely not alive.
Was he 06?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way.
Well, he's 18 now, so...
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Well, with that, we move into Driver of the Day. Your winner of Driver of the Day, for some reason, is Lewis Hamilton. With 29.6% of the vote. Why? Like, don't get me wrong,
Why?
Lewis, I'm glad you're still keeping it running and everything, and you're fighting this Ferrari team the best you can and all. You gained 4 spots. Ollie Behrman gained 10 spots this race. I was like, full disclosure, my bias, I did vote for Ollie Behrman.
So did I. Because he made up 10 spots. He went to his scoring position from P20, basically.
You want to know a fun fact? He's not even on this list.
What the fuck, Team LH? We were good. I was beginning to respect you, and then you pull his shit.
So, Lewis Hamilton with 29.6% of the vote. Oscar Piastri with 14.1%. Granted.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Charles Leclerc with 7.8% of the vote. I think he just deserves a consistent percentage of the vote.
He uses those driver of the day percentages for therapy.
Yeah.
So please.
This many people still like me.
Yeah.
Lando Norris with 6.7% of the vote, which I guess.
Okay.
And Pierre Gasly was 6.5% of the vote, which fair. First points all season for your team. Which, hey, by the way, we've got points for all the teams this year.
We didn't lose them via DSQ. Woo!
That leaves the remaining 35.3% to go amongst all others, but that means that Ollie had at most 6.5% of the vote. I feel like that's insane with as much as he gained.
That is that's a crime.
That is a crime.
That's
a crime against Britannia.
Well, in that case, actually, you know what?
You know what?
I think it's
Never
fine.
mind.
But a Brit still won it, so fuck off. There was enough Union Jacks on the podium anyway.
Yeah. Oh my God. That always throws me whenever someone from Australia or anywhere is up there. It's like, oh yeah, the fucking Union Jack for their flag too. All right, your pit stops. Your fastest stop belongs to Ferrari, specifically Lewis Hamilton.
Let's go. That was my F1 predicts. It was Ferrari.
Congrats. I forgot to play this week.
Oh, man. It was in the group chat and everything.
Yeah, I'm dumb, and I miss out on that stuff, especially if it gets sent at, while I'm at work. I ain't fucking looking at that.
That's fair. We also picked Max Verstappen on the podium and Lando Norris pole, so
yikes.
I put my double chip on that. Also put Pierre Gasly out in Q2, and I put my 2 times chip on that, so fuck me.
Woo! I might have scored as many points as y'all did, and I didn't even play. All right. But yeah, lap 32 during the safety car with a 2.16 seconds, so he really won out on that one. So that's where he gained his spots from. Your slowest stop that is considered Red Bull. Red Bull for some reason. Specifically
what?
Verstappen.
No. How?
Yeah, but when you consider how they've been in the past few years, they were always the fastest, and here they are on lap 26 with a 6.27 second stop. Specifically, I believe that's the one with the light. So
Oh, really? Not the one with the front right. There was the light.
It might have been that one. The light might have been the 4-second one.
I think, yeah, because I think they were both 4.6 and 4.4.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. Okay. So, yes, that would be the wheel. So
I mean, it would just make sense that the wheel would take more. At a certain point, you're just just go.
Just go.
Just go. Versus, hey, you can't go, the wheel's not on yet.
Exactly. There were 2 slower stops, a 7.75 second from McLaren to serve Norris's 5-second penalty on lap 10. And a 15.16 second from Williams to serve Sainz 10-second penalty on lap 44. Yeah, I think that does that part of it. Everything else is just yaps and funny haha stuff.
Our stars.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm just talking about all of the main stuff that I would be the sole person for.
The category we have is called stats and stars, which is the stars part. The stats are done.
The boring part's done. Let's get to the good part.
All right. You want to kick it off?
I'll kick it off. My star number 3 goes to Oscar Piastri. He's had a monstrous tone all weekend long from the most stoic person on the grid. Top of the board in FP2 and 3. Did he? No, he didn't get replaced in FP1, so took FP1 off to
McLaren
chill.
Still, in fact, we can go over that. The 3 teams that have not had a junior practice yet are McLaren, Kick, and Visa Cash App Red Bulls. Racing Bulls, sorry.
As if it wasn't confusing enough.
Nope.
So yeah, top of the board in FP2 and FP3, set P1 in quali by 1/10.5, and dominated in the race, 15 seconds ahead of the next person. So
I didn't actually look at the final time. God damn.
Yeah.
My 3rd star is, even though he lost 3 positions, he still put that car where it did not belong. Pierre Gasly. Good performance. Again, the first points, he would have had it in China, but he does it again. Yeah, he lost 3 points, but I mean, car is a little bit out of position. He just had a really good quality, good weekend, and yeah, Alpine might actually be somewhat good-ish.
Right on from there, my number 2 star is George Russell. We give a lot of shit to Mr. Consistency, usually of the, he just turned it on me variety. This man's car was not well today. He was battling his dash, his brakes, his DRS, everything short of the steering wheel popping off, and he still managed to gain a spot. So, George Russell, do something, get P2.
Do nothing, get P3, and still win.
Yeah.
The drivers. Oh, God. My second star was just the absolute dominant performance of our second favorite Kiwi current driver. No, Kiwi is
Kiwi's Zealand.
That's right. Never mind. Sorry, forget that. Don't kill me, Aussies. Oscar Piastri just with a Max Verstappen dominant performance. Clear the field, didn't make a mistake. Cool as a cucumber. Funny dude.
Absolute
just
blast.
Also another solid cooldown room.
Oh yeah, I still haven't listened
non-alcohol
to the full one without all the
branded. Oh yeah,
without all the background noise and whatever. Just the not having been able to separate everything away from it, just on its own. I haven't listened to that yet, but
yeah, it turned into a fucking react.
Oh,
so solid, good.
With that, my number 1 star goes to the MoneyGram Haas F1 team.
Gonna cut in and just say same. Haas boys.
I initially wrote this down as possibly, but I went in and confirmed it. This is the best start to a season for Haas. This race, in which their drivers gained 6 and 10 places to both finish in the points, brings them up to P5 in the Constructors' Championship. And it brings Esteban and Ollie to 9th and 13th, respectively, in the Drivers' Championship. They have, I think it's 5 points finishes. I know that sounds weird, but considering 2 drivers and 4 races, that's 8 possible. So 5 out of the 8 races they've, or 5 out of the possible 8 chances to score points, they've scored points in. I'm not counting the sprint because fuck the sprint. Something like that.
63, 65 repeating to infinity. I don't know. Fuck math.
Fuck math. Yeah. Brings them to those places in the Drivers' Championship. Very solid weekend for Komatsu and his Kannapolis, North Carolina-based team.
Enjoy this W because you just got handed one by Toronto. That's Raleigh, but close enough.
Close enough.
All right. I think that is about it for the actual racing weekend part of the Bahrain Sakhir Grand Prix. We don't do rumors on this show.
We don't do rumors.
We don't. But this one's good.
This one is,
and it's time appropriate, and I feel like we knew enough with the Liam Yuki one. We probably could have talked about it. Then we said I knew nothing about this, so this is all on Blake. So I'm going to be learning with you, dear audience, on this one.
All right.
My seat, I am leaned back. My book is closed. It is story time.
Oh boy, putting me in the hot seat. Okay.
So you want to talk about it?
Yeah, no, fair enough. So browsing Reddit as I do after the races, trying to get as much news from everything, all angles as possible. After we've had a bite, I'm working on filling out the write up for the podcast. That way, I have all my notes in front of me and all that sort of stuff. I start seeing stuff on Reddit about old Maxi Boy. And again, the way that's put just sounds just like the most rumor-laden thing in the world. I'm not saying that there's anything possibly even confirmed on this. This is just a, hey, this is everyone's observations. This is how everyone's talking. This sounds rough. We might be at a critical point for Max and his stay with Red Bull. So specifically, there was the interview that he did with Viaplay, in which he said that he was not going to be talking to the team today. The interviewer asked, lots to discuss today. Max said, for you. Viaplay was like, for you guys and for the team in the studio, right? Lots to say to the team. Max said, at the moment, no, I don't feel like it. Didn't really want to talk to the team there. I've seen a post that stated that his agent apparently screamed in Marco's face and stormed off. I've seen that there was a crisis meeting for a lot of the big heads at Red Bull, so Horner, Marco, the bunch like that. this is not healthy. This is a very like, hey, alarm bells, alarm bells, alarm bells. We don't do rumors, but I feel like right now would be the time for Lawrence or fucking Oliver or anyone to hop on that phone and start making some calls to Max's agent. Like, hey, what can we do?
Yeah. Red Bull, I mean, we went over this, like, the Yuki Liam switch should be the final straw. Like, maybe not this season, but off season, Red Bull has to go through fundamental changes.
Yes.
And you might lose your number one World Star driver now. Rumor, potentially. Maybe we're overacting.
But it is a lot of like just beyond the like administration bullshittery with like say for with like example the Yuki and Liam thing. There's that. But you've got just pure performance things. The car is undrivable, and he said this repeatedly.
The car that's built around your driver.
The car that's built around that driver says that it's undrivable. He has it printed out. Maybe Toto was on to something.
Toto was right.
Toto was right.
This is the first time a German has ever been right. Let's be honest, but let's get that in there.
I mean,
there's a reference.
Yes, you are correct.
There.
Anyways,
Toto's not German, is he's
Austrian. That makes it worse.
Mercedes is German.
Yes. Anyways, we're getting off course a little bit. Fucking readjust that autopilot back into control here. Hey, fucking, the car's undrivable, and you can see it in how Max is racing. You can see it in how Yuki and Liam were both racing with it, which Liam doesn't need that much help, but that's me being a bully, and don't be like me.
Hey, first Red Bull second driver in Q3, and first Red Bull second driver points this season.
Anyways.
Just putting a stat. It's just a stat.
It's just a stat.
Just
anyways, you got that going on. You got the car itself beyond the undrivability. Car's overheating. The fucking like various different control bits are not working as they're supposed to be intended. You've got there was one connecting point I wanted to make, and I'm losing it. It's drifting away. The pits, the fucking pit crew, the fucking mistakes on that were cropping up. Red Bull used to be the leaders in pit stops. They, I think, still hold, or does McLaren now hold the fastest pit stop?
I believe it's the Red Bull.
Okay.
I think McLaren came close.
I think they came very close, but I think Red Bull still holds the fastest F1 pit stop.
And we're talking thousands of close. Like,
yeah, no. When we say close, this is F1 close.
Yeah.
But we just had 3 different pit stops today that were 4 seconds or greater.
You had to change out Max's entire braking thing this weekend. Like the compound.
Yeah.
Like a fundamental switch. Because it wasn't working.
There's a lot going on at Red Bull that I'm sure we're not privy to, but this is... If I were a Red Bull fan, I would be...
Nervous,
yes. I would be concerned with what's about to happen. We don't do rumors. But
what
yeah.
just happened?
We just yapping.
I mean, some of this is a rumor. I mean, you can clearly tell that things are not right at Red Bull.
No.
Stuff is not correct. And I think everything we overlooked last 2 seasons was right. We're like, oh, it's overblown or whatever. Yeah, maybe. So, yeah. Hey, we see Lewis. We're seeing Lewis in red. Who knows what else other colors might be changing?
Be wild to see Max in any color, but
it's like, hey Max, how do you like kind of like a dark teal? How do you like blue and pink?
How do you like blue? How do you like blue? Hey Carlos, can you step out of frame for a second? How do you like blue? You wanna pal up with Albon again?
They're all anywhere he goes, it's an ex-teammate.
Oh my god, you're right.
You can't escape.
You cannot escape the teammates.
God, yeah. We don't do rumors here, but man.
It's insane. Specifically the post that I saw that was talking about Verstappen's manager giving Helmut Marko the yelling in his face,
Which
and
I
whatever.
support fully. Fuck Helmut
Oh
Marko.
yeah, no, absolutely. It was
That's the reason we're talking
reported
about it.
by one Theodore Kravitz.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, oh, Ted.
2 sex Ted.
2 sex, Ted, while I figure out why the fuck they used your full-ass government name.
2 moments, Theodore.
There's your gif, by the way, of the Verstappening and him just
Verstappening.
just so frustrated with it all. Fucking audio podcast.
I can't wait. Liam's going to get his second seat back, but his teammate's going to be Yuki.
Oh god.
man.
There's a couple of little funny bits throughout, but if you've got something else factual.
Well, I mean, meme review. Meme review time.
Meme review.
Yeah, I just want to point out in the post-race show, when they were talking to, it's a Davide weekend. We love Davide weekends. That's just chaos in a man. But it was Davide and, of course, Laura, lead presenter now, with fuckhead Don, whatever his name is.
Will Buxton.
Will Buxton. So just in the background, which I did figure out who that kid was.
Oh, yeah.
There was just, what did I say younger kid, probably younger 20s, and what I'm going to assume is either a sister or a girlfriend, given the dynamic. I don't know, which is weird that they're both kind of similar dynamic. I guess. I don't know. They're just having a thumb war in the background and started fake slapping and pushing each other in the background.
Absolutely fucking thrilling thumb war. I was like, I'm sitting
no,
there
you were going
cheering
for
her
it.
on. Oh, fuck yeah.
And the cameraman knew too, because he made sure he kept
Stayed
Davide
on.
in left, and then that was still full right.
Then as soon as that was wrapped, it was like, all right, wide shot.
Yeah. So remember during the podium when I was like, "Who are you? Don't fucking," and then I said, "Don't do your little winky thing at me." It was him.
It was him?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then so later on, Zach Brown, fuck you, was talking to the flag waver, who is the former Ferrari CEO or whatever.
Yeah.
That kid was with him.
Oh my god.
So I don't know if it was a grandson or something, but yeah. So which, given where they were, I mean, that was peak paddock hospitality, so they had to be someone.
Right.
Pretty
gotta
important.
be somebody there.
But yeah, shout out to that dude.
That kid.
That person.
Oh god. So all I've got for meme reviews this week, and I quote, "Everything is broken. Lights are broken, transponders are broken, timing graphics is broken, Max is broken, Charles is depressed, George's dash is broken, drink system's broken, DRS is broken."
I forgot Oscar did not have
the drink.
Second time it's happened.
The Kimi analog did not have the drink.
Yeah, not
and
breaking.
the wheel. Mark, give me a new wheel.
Man,
oh my
he's
god.
not beating the Iceman allegations of this
No,
one.
he's sure not. What else do I have? There is
Also, welcome. We had reporter Jack back. So
yeah,
that was your
reporter
joke. Was he's got to have so much on screen time to keep his
to keep the backup position just in case he gets replaced by Colapinto. The fucking meme that you and I both saw. What did bro have for lunch?
bro had him. So good. God. Or no, that was Bordeaux.
Browning.
That was Browning.
Browning,
we need him in the
Hadjar,
speech just
and
for
Hamilton.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Browning and Hadjar being part of this has just made everything so awesome.
Oh god. What else we got? You know, Lewis driving at Mercedes, tires are degrading, or he wants code word or whatever. Fucking Bono, my tires are gone. Meanwhile, Ferrari Hamilton, this tire sucks. Just full out and say it. This tire sucks.
No need to no code name, no. Which Ferrari did break out the phonetics for the plans.
Instead of plan A, plan B, plan C.
Delta, Bravo.
Yeah. Last but not least, we give it the one picture of Io Komatsu.
Oh yeah.
I love the live reaction meme. I was like, I will send these to you so that way you have them and can splice them in if you so desire. But
There you go. If I do that, if you're listening on Spotify or Amazon or listening on YouTube but not watching YouTube video, the YouTube video version will have stuff cut in and on stuff like that. So if you want to see the memes we're talking about, if you want to witness Bro Had Ham, YouTube DSQ podcast. I was like, I know we can upload the video to Spotify now, but I don't, since we only do that occasionally, so it is just kind of like a static graphic with art on it, and I didn't think it was really worth it. So
yeah, no, fair enough.
if we ever switch to full video cast, we'll do that. But yeah. All right, is that it? Or should we move on to
I do believe that's it.
the end of the triple header? Staying in the peninsula, Saudi Arabia, the fastest track on the calendar, except Lewis has a 1:37.34, which is not the fastest, so I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe the high speed?
I think the high speed, because when you get up there, it's
The
just
fastest top
fucking
speed.
sending it. Yeah.
Yep. Out in Jeddah. So then the end of our triple header, take a week off, and then we're back to Miami. We're
Sunny
all
Miami.
started for little Lando Norris.
It'll be our third race in a row with
Human rights
violations.
I know we're saving the breath. Brought to our breath, Florida. You know what you're doing. All right, that is it, I believe, for this episode. Yeah. I'll probably, so if it just cut off, she had me cut this, but if you're still listening to this, happy birthday, Blake, on Thursday.
Thank you.
I will totally cut it if she does not want that left in.
I
But
do not care.
okay, at Blake the Aries, if you want to, not X at them, blue sky at them.
I've seen
Ski them?
I've seen skeet. Some blue sky skeets.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, that's it. Follow us on Blue Sky. I did cut it from the graphic because Blake did update her handle, and I just have been lazy and haven't reached out to our voice actor Daniel to redo it. So I've just been cutting it. I should probably message him and get that redone. But yep, happy birthday, Blake. Again, we'll probably mention it. It's Thursday, so it's like right in between the race week activities. So, all right, we'll see you in hopefully missile strike free Saudi Arabia.
I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. Fuck
no,
that.
yeah, no. You probably not allowed.
No.
Follow the pod everywhere at DSQ Pod.
I'm not allowed in Florida either.